What is your number 1 obscure animal fact? Army ants will create balls during high water floods. The ball will roll, allowing every ant to get a breath. The bearded vulture or bone-eating vulture is a rare Eurasian vulture that only eats marrow. That looks rusty in color but is in fact white. This rusty color is because they actually paint themselves with red clay deposits to look attractive to their mates. They are really cool looking. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/bearded_vulture. They have a little tuft of feathers below their beaks that looks like the beard of a dragon. So that is why they are called that. The duck-billed platypus has no nipples to feed their offspring. Instead, milk oozes from the skin. The chemical compound which is used to make fake banana flavor is the same compound honeybees use as an alarm pheromone. So never eat banana sweets near a beehive. And if you suddenly smell banana near a beehive, run. Rabbits don't have pads on their paws. Only fur, so if you see a cartoon rabbit with pads on its paw, completely wrong. Vultures urinate on their legs and feet to cool off on hot days, a process called urohydrosis. Their urine also helps kill any bacteria or parasites they've picked up from walking through carcasses or perching on dead animals. Penguins have a gland above their eye that converts saltwater into freshwater. Butterflies will drink blood given the option. The vast majority of Greenland sharks are blind thanks to a special parasite that eats their eyes and replaces them. It is thought that this might actually be helpful because their eyesight was shit anyway. B. The parasites wave like lures and may have an anglerfish-like effect. And C. The sharks are super slow, so that might be one of the few ways for them to catch live prey. Imagine something eating your eyeballs and it being an upgrade. A kangaroo will mate again 1 to 3 days after giving birth. The newborn will latch onto a teat in the pouch, and as long as it thrives, the kangaroo can put its newly fertilized embryo in a state of dormancy and have a backup baby ready to go if the newborn grows out of the pouch or dies. The kangaroo's hormones will send signals to start the development of the egg, so they can have an adolescent joey, a nursing one, and one in stasis all at the same time. Sloths are literally too lazy to go looking for a mate. So a female sloth will often sit in a tree and scream until a male hears her and decides to mate with her. Turkey vultures projectile vomit as a means of defense. Bees have 5 eyes, 2 complex like a fly's and 3 simple eyes like a spider. Every once in a while, an emperor penguin will do something very strange. Most of them will never do this, but the ones who do have stumped scientists for a while now. Every once in a while, a penguin will turn away from its colony and start heading for the interior of the continent, Antarctica, away from the food, the water, the safety of the colony, off alone towards certain death, almost like zombies. In the past, scientists would try to stop them, or take them back to the colony, at which point, they'd simply turn around and begin their journey again, in the same direction, toward the same end. Some would even get violent if they were met with intervention. The prevailing thought is that this penguin is depressed and is committing suicide in a very non-altruistic manner. But nobody knows for sure. There are a lot of possible explanations for this, including the possibility of a fungal infection similar to the cordyceps infection that can cause some colony insects to behave in exactly the same way. Potential signs of brain tumors or other medical conditions that the birds are exposed to. It's well known that birds can experience depression or anxiety, but they tend to respond to this in very immediate ways, such as by overpreening, pulling out their own feathers, screaming, or being unusually quiet, loss of appetite, etc. Bird anorexia is a major thing. These activities are signs of redirecting stress, while wandering off into the abyss of an unforgiving frozen continent implies the ability to analyze and think ahead in a way that most birds really don't seem to be able to do. So the reason may not be as immediately obvious as you might think. From what I know, no autopsies have been performed on these rogue penguins, most likely because the conditions are too harsh to hunt their corpses down. But until one is performed, we really have zero idea why they do this. And yet they do. And the behavior is common enough that it's been documented multiple times. The inland taipan snake has the strongest, potent venom on the planet, capable of killing around 290 humans with a single bite. Scaled to mice, a single bite could kill 250,000 mice. That said, bites from the inland taipan to humans have been pretty rare, as they usually stay underground and are not overly aggressive unless you jump all over their burrow. They also have a good number of predators who prey on them. Only sheep, whales, and humans go through menopause. Snakes don't have eyelids. If you see a snake blink, that's a legless lizard. The western lowland gorilla's scientific name is gorilla gorilla gorilla. Chickens will come say goodbye to each other when one is dying, and they do soft clicks and will then leave, and that chicken will normally die alone. Some chickens also will kill another chicken because they sense something's wrong with the chicken. A disease, for example. Hope you enjoyed these facts. I found them in a book called How to Speak Chicken. There are no male mourning geckos. The entire species is female. Roosters deafen themselves temporarily every time they crow, so that they don't damage their own hearing. All the deep-sea anglerfish you see pictures of with the lil lights hanging over their heads, they're all female. The males are tiny and born with a terribly weak jaw and a massive hunger. They seek out a female, and torn between hungry and horny, they bite her. She then releases an enzyme that fuses the male to her body. She slowly absorbs them into her body with only their lil testicles remaining, so she can instantly fertilize her eggs when she wants to. Some females have rows and rows of lil testicles on their bodies from where they have absorbed multiple males, and you thought your sex life was weird. But no kink shaming. Woodpecker tongues wrap around the back of their brains. This helps the brain stay protected during high-speed pecking. The mammal that has the most teeth is the giant armadillo of South America, with 74 teeth, but that's nothing to snails. A common garden snail can have 14,000 teeth. Some snails grow 25,000 teeth in their lifetime, and the teeth grow on their tongue. When caterpillars enter the chrysalis phase, they don't just sprout wings. Their entire body first turns into a liquid, soupy substance which then reforms into the butterfly. They feed cows magnets, so when cows eat nails, barbed wire, metal, it stays in one's stomach, otherwise they'd get hardware disease and die. To cross a river, armadillos can either sink to the bottom and crawl across, since they can hold their breath for 7 minutes, or they can inflate their intestines and use them as a flotation device. To float. Edit. Thank you to everyone wishing me a happy cake day. Giraffes have 7 cervical vertebrae, just like you humans. If a hog-nosed snake is threatened, it will puff up and hiss. If this doesn't work, it will flip onto its back and play dead. If you flip him from his back onto his belly, he will flip back over again. The Brazilian free-tailed bat is the fastest animal in straight and level flight at 100 miles per hour. Some birds are faster, but only in a dive. Source: Audubon. Crocodilians, gators, caiman, and crocs have a specialized liver and diaphragm which allows them to slowly rise and sink in the water. By pulling their diaphragm via the hepatic shunt, they can shift their either moving appendage, creating a vacuum known as a cavitation bubble. When this bubble collapses, a sonic boom and flash of light are produced. Opossums are, I believe, the only marsupials native to North America. They also have a body temperature so low that it makes them highly resistant to rabies. The combined spider population of the world consumes anywhere between 400 million to 800 million metric tons of food per year. We all know an octopus has 8 legs, it also has 3 hearts and 9 brains. And it can fit itself through a hole the size of a quarter. Pacu fish have teeth that look exactly like people's. They evolved to chew nuts that fell into the water. I read somewhere that some species of bats practices oral sex. Apparently males of that species found out that if they satisfy the female enough, that then she will not go mate with another male, thus securing their place as a father of the offspring. Crows recognize individual people even if they are wearing disguises, and after many years, the people are wearing disguises, not the crows. Many bird species will eat the fecal sacs of their young, thus keeping the nest clean for their young. I no longer wish I knew what it would be like to be a bird. All halibut are male until they reach 45 inches in length. They then all become female. Panthers are not actually a distinct species of big cat. It's the name given to melanistic jaguars and leopards. Kangaroos cannot jump backwards. While the blue whale has the largest penis in the animal kingdom, 2.5 to 3 meters, approximately 8 feet minus 10. But among mammals the fossa has the largest penis to ratio of its body size. 17 to 20 centimeters, 7 inches minus 8. At full maturity, their penis is approximately 1/6 of total body length, head to tip of tail, with a tail being about half that total length. Their penis extends past their front legs when fully erect, and the echidna's penis has 4 heads, where only 2 operate at once. They work much like ovaries release eggs, where every time he ejaculates, only half of them do. And then the next time, the other half. The female of the species has a 2-pronged reproductive tract, allowing the half of the penis that is active to fit right in. Oh, I should also add that not unlike themselves, or cats, they have spiky penises as well. Not that incredible, but never hear it and was unexpected. Many common ants live for years. I definitely pictured them as short lifespans. And definitely felt a bit bad about the crazy number I've killed. Not that I stopped. In Africa